Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Govberg and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Patek Philippe annual calendar reference 5056P. You can see this platinum complication on our website, govbergwatches.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you enjoy these videos, please download our app, Govberg On Time, for the latest news, views, and reviews of luxury watches, as well as multimedia. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this 37mm platinum annual calendar has incredible physical and aesthetic presence without being dimensionally overbearing. Now it is 37mm across the round of the case, not including the crown, so it's compatible with a very broad range of wrists, down to even 13 centimeters in circumference. It has a little bit of a squat, thick case to it, but as you can see, 11mm thick, not excessive, and generously sloped on its flanks. You can see the curve of the case into the curve of that domed bezel, easily sliding underneath a tight sleeve or dress cuff. From lug to lug, the watch is very compact, 44mm from extremity to extremity. This is not going to overlap your wrist no matter how small your wrist is. But because it is entirely platinum, because the case is relatively deep, the watch does have impressive heft on the wrist. You really have a sense of occasion when you wear this watch, because even as compact as it is, you never forget it's there, such as the pull of the platinum. You'll also note one of the few occasions when almost all men can approve of the use of diamonds on a men's watch, the 6 o'clock diamond inset between the lugs to denote a platinum Patek Philippe, a practice that came into effect around the time this watch hit the market in the late 1990s. Today it's considered the standard nod and the wink between collectors of Patek Philippe. Now the watch also has a high-grade, monotone stitch, shiny rectangular scale alligator leather strap. There's a supple calfskin on the bottom, and it's matched to a high-grade and matching platinum 95% pin buckle. Elegant, thoughtfully designed, but again, a versatile way of fitting your watch and adjusting it on the fly. Not the star of the show. This is. You can see that the watch has incredible sensuous qualities to the case. These lugs seem to slope in every direction, and the tumble home of the case flank, along with the domed profile of the bezel, gives the watch an incredibly artful, sweeping, almost organic look to it. It's highly seductive and entirely in high polish. The watch manages to have impressive visual presence in spite of its reasonably tidy dimensions. Now moving inboard, you can see that the dial is an exceptional piece. All applied white gold Roman numerals inboard of a railroad style white printed minute and seconds track. You also note in Patek Philippe fashion, we have not resorted to a watchmaker's 4, we have a conventional Roman numeral 4, and the dial might be just a bit less crowded for that aesthetic decision. You can also see that there's a dramatic sunburst texture to the dial. Radiating out from the cannon pinion at center, the grain of that sunburst catches the light. Even in the soft light of my light box here, I'm seeing the dynamic quality that really brings this dial to life in direct light. Outside, it simply explodes in sunlight. Now there are many thoughtful details, everything from the careful balance of the complications, the central axis from the power reserve to the hours, minutes, and seconds, through the bosom-style moon phase to the date at 6 o'clock, and the horizontal symmetry of the day of the week being balanced out by the month register at 3 o'clock. Very handsome, and for good measure, the watch features loomed foy-style or leaf hands, so you can read this watch in low or no light. The power reserve keeps track of a power reserve of approximately 45 hours. And that 45-hour power reserve is supplied by a variation on Patek Philippe's caliber 315 movement, the 21,600 vibration per hour predecessor of the current 324. Now this reference was built from about 1998 to about 2005, and in the course of its lifespan, Patek Philippe essentially invented the annual calendar and then came to see everyone in the watch world copy them. Patek was the first with the annual calendar, patenting it in 1996. This reference, the 5056, was one of the first annual calendars of any kind ever made, but Patek has distinguished itself by being both first and the best with this particular complication and the finishing of the underlying movement. What I really like about this watch is that everything, finished to Geneva seal quality and stamped with the Ponson on this bridge right beneath my thumb, is simply a treat to look at. You can see the rich Côte de Genève across the winding rotor, as well as the balance cock and the bridges, beautifully polished screws with chamfered slots. There's a tight and even perlage across the base plate, and the watch does feature a Gyromax free-sprung balance, so it has built-in resistance to shock-induced timing variation. This is a Patek Philippe mechanical engineering heritage element that dates back to the middle of the last century. So you have something that was considered to be exceptionally innovative at the time in the late 90s, the annual calendar, with something that was considered to be exceptionally innovative in the 1950s and remains one of the standards for shock-resistant, or I should say, shock-induced timing deviation resistant balances in the modern era. It's a handsome piece, and naturally, with a complete calendar, a moon phase, and a power reserve, you're getting your money's worth of complications, every single one of them practical, with the exception of the beautifully romantic moon phase. You can see and you can buy this Patek Philippe Platinum Annual Calendar, the 5056P, on our website, govbergwatches.com.